The silence of Station Kepler. The observation deck of Station Kepler floated in the void between star systems, a solitary outpost at the edge of charted space. Commander Elena Reeves pressed her palm against the cold viewport, watching distant nebulae paint the darkness in shades of violet and gold. Still no response from the Sovereign Assembly? She asked without turning. Behind her, Communications Officer David Chen shook his head, his reflection ghostly in the transparent steel. Nothing for 16 days, Commander. Every delegation, every trade route, every diplomatic channel, complete silence. Elena felt the weight of isolation settle deeper into her chest. Humanity had spent 2 decades earning its place among the galactic community. They were the newcomers, the curious species from a yellow star eager to learn and contribute. Now, without warning or explanation, every alien civilization had gone dark. "Show me the last transmission again," Elena said. The holographic display materialized between them. A Valorian ambassador, her crystalline features fracturing light into rainbow patterns, spoke with barely concealed urgency. The translation algorithms rendered her clicking language into human speech. A shadow spreads across the outer reach. Worlds fall silent. We recommend your species retreats to your home system. Immediately. Then nothing, not even static. "They're protecting us," said Dr. Amara Okonkwo, the station's chief scientist, entering the deck with a tablet clutched in her dark hands. "Or they think we're not worth saving." "What did you find?" Elena asked. Amara swiped through data streams, her eyes reflecting cascading numbers. "I've been analyzing background radiation patterns across all sectors. There's something moving through the spiral arm, Commander. Something that doesn't register on conventional sensors, but it leaves a wake. Gravitational distortions, quantum fluctuations. Like the universe itself is flinching." David leaned forward, his young face creased with worry. "How big?" "Not big," Amara corrected. "Vast. We're talking about an influence that spans multiple star systems simultaneously, and it's getting closer. At current progression, it reaches human space in 43 days. The observation deck fell silent except for the subtle hum of life support systems. Station Kepler housed only 37 personnel, scientists and support staff who'd volunteered for the isolation of deep space research. They were equipped for discovery, not defense. "What do we do?" David asked, the question hanging in the recycled air. Elena turned from the viewport, her commander's uniform suddenly feeling heavier. She was 42 years old, a veteran of Earth's resource wars before humanity reached the stars. She'd seen hopeless situations before. "We do what humans do best," she said quietly. "We investigate, we adapt. We survive." "Commander?" Amara interjected, pulling up a new display. "There's something else. 3 days ago I detected a faint signal from the Kashan expanse. It's not standard communication, more like a distress pulse. I've been trying to clean it up." The hologram shifted, revealing a grainy image that slowly resolved. A species Elena didn't recognize appeared on screen. Humanoid, but with elongated limbs and skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Behind the figure, chaos unfolded, structures collapsing, crowds fleeing, and in the background something that made Elena's breath catch. A darkness that moved with purpose. It wasn't a shadow or the absence of light. It was presence, a living void that consumed everything in its path. Ships, buildings, fleeing civilians, all swallowed into nothingness without sound or struggle. "Mother of God," David whispered. The alien figure in the recording spoke directly to the camera. Their voice a melodic series of tones the translation software struggled to interpret. Fragments came through, devours memory. Not death, but erasure. Older than stars. "They told us humans are curious. Please, remember us." The transmission ended. Elena felt something shift inside her chest. Not fear, but determination crystallizing into purpose. Every species in the galaxy had abandoned humanity to face this threat alone or flee. But that wasn't who humans were. They didn't run from the unknown. They studied it, understood it, and found a way through. "Amara, I need everything you can tell me about that phenomenon. Energy signatures, movement patterns, any correlation with historical data." "David, send a priority message to Earth Command. Full data package. If we don't make it back, someone needs to know what's coming." "And then?" David asked. Elena looked back at the viewport, at the infinite darkness between stars that humanity had dared to cross. 2 centuries ago, humans believed their planet was the center of creation, 1 century ago, they thought reaching their moon was impossible. 20 years ago, faster-than-light travel was theoretical fantasy. Then we take the station to the source of that signal, Elena said. If something out there is erasing entire civilizations from existence, I want to know why. And I want to know if it can be stopped. With 37 people and a research station? Amara asked, incredulous. Elena smiled, the expression carrying no humor but absolute conviction. The galaxy thinks humanity should hide. That we're too young, too inexperienced, too fragile. Maybe they're right. But we're also too stubborn to accept impossible as an answer. She turned to her crew, seeing the same spark igniting in their eyes. The legacy of every human who'd looked at an insurmountable challenge and decided to climb it anyway. Prepare the station for deep space transit. We launch in 6 hours. End of part 1. Into the Expanse station. Kepler shuddered as its experimental fold drive engaged, tearing a temporary wound through spacetime. Elena gripped her command chair's armrests, watching the stars stretch into luminous threads before snapping back into unfamiliar configurations. Fold complete, David announced, his voice steady despite the slight tremor in his hands. We've crossed 400 light-years in 40 seconds. Drive efficiency at 92%. Position? Elena asked. Edge of the Kashan Expanse, exactly where the distress signal originated. David's fingers danced across his console, pulling up sensor data. Commander, I'm reading nothing. No ships, no stations, no debris. It's like this entire sector has been swept clean. Amara moved to the forward sensor array, her scientific curiosity overriding any fear. That's not quite accurate. There's something here. The gravitational signatures are all wrong. Mass concentrations where nothing visible exists. And the background radiation. It's been altered, stripped of certain frequencies entirely. Elena stood, approaching the main viewport. The Kashan Expanse stretched before them, a region of space that should have been filled with the trading posts and mining colonies of the Kashan people, a civilization known throughout the galaxy for their mathematical precision and artistic achievements. Now there was only darkness punctuated by distant stars. Life signs? Elena asked, already knowing the answer. None, David confirmed. But Commander, the temporal sensors are showing anomalies. Time itself seems to flow differently here, like something reached into the past and he struggled for words. It's as if this place has been unhappened. A chill ran down Elena's spine. She'd prepared for many scenarios. Hostile aliens, natural disasters, even war. But this was something beyond human experience. An enemy that didn't destroy but erased, removing civilizations from reality itself. Take us deeper, she ordered. Follow the trail of gravitational distortions. Whatever did this left a path. Station Kepler moved forward slowly, its engines barely above idle. The crew worked in tense silence, each person monitoring their instruments for any sign of the phenomenon Amara had tracked. 20 minutes into their exploration, the silence shattered. Contact, David shouted. 3 points closing fast from multiple vectors. They're small, fighter-sized, but their energy signatures don't match any known species. Evasive protocols, Elena commanded. Shields to maximum. Do not engage unless fired upon. The objects appeared on visual sensors, sleek vessels that seemed to absorb light, their surfaces shifting between solid matter and something else entirely. They circled Station Kepler like predators assessing prey. Then a communication channel opened, flooding the station with a voice that made every human on board gasp. It wasn't transmitted through their equipment. It resonated directly in their minds, bypassing ears and technology entirely. Curious creatures. You should not be here. The cleansing has already begun. Elena forced herself to speak, her voice projected through the station's communication array. This is Commander Elena Reeves of the Human Exploration Fleet. We've come to investigate the disappearance of multiple civilizations. We mean no harm. Silence stretched for several heartbeats. Then the voice returned, carrying what might have been surprise. Humans. The infant species. You were warned to retreat, humans. The infant species. You were warned to retreat to your small corner of existence. Why do you approach the unmaking? Because our corner of existence is next, Elena replied, keeping her tone firm but not aggressive. Because we don't abandon our neighbors to threats we don't understand. And because humanity has never accepted extinction without asking why. The three vessels stopped circling, holding position at precise equidistant points around the station. Through the viewport, Elena could see their surfaces rippling like liquid metal. Fascinating, the voice mused. Every other species fled or prepared futile defenses. You choose investigation. This is either profound wisdom or spectacular foolishness. Maybe both, Elena admitted. Will you tell us what's happening? What is the cleansing? Another pause. Elena could feel Amara and David watching her. Could sense the entire crew holding their breath throughout the station. Everything depended on this moment, on whether this unknown entity saw humanity as worthy of answers or merely another civilization to be erased. We are the archivists, the voice finally said. We exist at the boundaries of time, maintaining the integrity of causality itself. Every million cycles a cleansing occurs. Civilizations that have corrupted the timeline, created paradoxes, damaged the fundamental structure of reality, must be removed before their actions unravel existence itself. Amara stepped forward, unable to contain her scientific curiosity. You're saying entire species are being deleted because they altered time? Not deleted, never existed. Their contributions to the universe are carefully extracted, their timeline threads rewoven so reality remains stable. It is not destruction, but correction. Elena felt her mind reeling. The Kashan people, the Valorian ambassadors, all the civilizations that went silent, they all manipulated time? They discovered temporal technology and used it recklessly, created divergent timelines, duplicated events, attempted to change fixed points in history. Each action weakened the fabric of existence. We are the immune system of the universe itself, removing the infection before it spreads. David's voice came softly from behind. Then why are you talking to us? Why not just erase us too? The three vessels began moving again, this time forming a perfect triangle with Station Kepler at its center. When the archivist spoke again, Elena detected something new in their tone. Genuine curiosity. Because humans are an anomaly. You developed faster than light travel without temporal manipulation. You explore the galaxy with chemical rockets and fold drives that respect causality. You are primitive yet remarkably clean. No paradoxes, no timeline corruption. In 400,000 species we have monitored across 60 million years, fewer than 700 have achieved your level of development without tampering with time. Elena saw opportunity in that statement. Then we're not a threat. You don't need to erase us. Perhaps, the archivist agreed. But you dwell among infected species. Associate with civilizations whose very existence has become a wound in time. When the cleansing reaches your sector, can you prove humanity deserves to remain? The question hung in the void like a challenge and a lifeline combined. Amara moved beside Elena, her scientist's mind already racing through possibilities. What if we could help? If we understand what timeline corruption looks like, maybe we could develop methods to detect it, prevent it. We're good at solving problems everyone else thinks are impossible. Help? The archivist's voice carried what might have been amusement. You are infants playing with forces beyond your comprehension. That's what everyone always says, Elena replied, allowing herself a slight smile. Right up until we succeed. Give us a chance. Show us what needs to be fixed. If we fail, you can complete your cleansing. But if we find a solution, a way to repair timeline damage without erasing entire civilizations, wouldn't that be preferable to extinction? The silence that followed felt different. Elena could imagine the archivists conferring across dimensions humans couldn't perceive, weighing the value of hope against the certainty of their ancient protocols. Finally, the voice returned. Very well, curious humans. We will show you the wound. The corruption that justifies the cleansing. If you can understand it without your minds breaking, perhaps you are more than infants after all. But know this. 43 of your days remain before the cleansing reaches human space. That is your time limit. After that, the decision becomes permanent. One of the three vessels broke formation, projecting coordinates directly into Station Kepler's navigation system. Follow. We will take you to the source, to the civilization whose temporal crimes threaten all existence. There you will see why the cleansing is necessary. And perhaps if your species truly possesses the ingenuity you claim, you will find what 400,000 others could not: redemption for the condemned. Elena met Amara's eyes, saw her own determination reflected there. Behind them, David was already calculating the jump. Set course, Elena commanded. Let's go redefine impossible.